All right, if you need custom motorcycle parts or stock parts or whatever for your Harley or your old Japanese bike, you need to check out Old Bike Barn over at Old Bike Barn. They got whatever you need. They also have a whole line of leather goods and knives under their brand name White Knuckler. So check them out, oldbikebarn.com, or on Instagram at Old Bike Barn. And if you happen to find yourself in the unfortunate situation where you are in a motorcycle accident, you need to go check out Law Tigers over at lawtigers.com, or go to Facebook and type in Law Tigers and the name of your state to find the most local office. They're a motorcycle law firm founded by riders for riders, and what they do is just handle motorcycle accident cases. So check them out. Hope you never need that one, but if you do, go check them out. If you have anxiety going on, or insomnia, or, you got aches, you got inflammation, you need some CBD oil, but you don't want to go get some garbage over at the bodega, go check out Crater Lake Clear over at craterlakeclear.com. The cleanest and best CBD oil there is out there. Now, if your pet needs some CBD oil, you got an asshole cat or like a nervous Nelly dog that's all nippy and fucking weird and skittish, you need to go to vetcs.com. Over at vetcs.com. They have the cleanest and purest and best CBD oil for your cat, for your dog, and they also have a line specifically for horses. So check them out, vetcs.com. Founded by a veterinarian and a vet tech or a vet assistant, so it's all good. And use promo code Big Truth at both of those places and get a good percentage off your order. If you need some clothing, it's winter, you know what I mean? You might need some hats, some stocking hats, some scarves, hoodie, whatever, jackets. Go check out the best, in my opinion, lifestyle clothing company there is, Omerta over at omertamia.com. Dudes are not only friends and brothers of mine, but like the realest cats in the game with this stuff. There's a lot of fakers out there. These dudes are real deal. So go check them out. Omerta Mia. Well, it's Omerta, Omerta, and the website or the Instagram or any of that is Omerta Mia, OMERTAMIA.com. Use Big Truth at checkout, get 20% off your order. Now, while we're talking about clothing here, same thing. You need some new clothing, but you're a little on the darker side of things. You like to collect street weaponry. You used to order, illegal weapons and nefarious materials from the back of Soldier of Fortune or Ninja Magazine or some shit like that. You're into occult shit. You're well versed with the New Dawn and Aleister Crowley and his crew and whatever. You're a little off kilter, right? You like serial killers, but you also into rad shit like choppers and fucking show vans and boogie vans and psychedelic shit. You need to go check out Heavy, because that's the shit for you 100%. Go to heavy.bigcartel.com or on Instagram at Heavy Clothing and use the promo code FTW at checkout. Get a kickback off your order there. What else? Haven't done these commercials in a while, and I'm going off the top of my head. While you're looking at clothing, keep it rolling. Check out fucking Pitchfork over at pitchforkny.com. It's the clothing that all your favorite bands wear. And they also have a record label where they do a lot of cool shit. So check them out, pitchforkny.com. And if you are into motorcycling, you need to go check out Chop Cult. If you're not already a member there, it's absolutely free. It's the biggest online message board and resource for motorcycle riders and custom bike stuff and chopper shit. They have an online swap meet where you can buy, sell, and trade parts. They got an online events page. Those are my two favorite things, where you can see motorcycle-related events all across the world, broken up by date and location. And then they have the message boards where it's all broken up by topic, and you can easily navigate your way around. So go check out Chop Cult over at chopcult.com. If you are still looking for more motorcycle stuff and you're in the Northeast area, well, actually it doesn't matter because you can order shit online. You need to check out my shop, Choppahead, CHOPPAHEAD, spelled in the most masshole of ways. Choppahead.com is the website. Or even better, we're a brick and mortar full service motorcycle shop. You can come hang out, come by the shop, 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. We sell parts. We have a showroom. And we're a full-service motorcycle shop in the back. Custom fabrication, speed work, everything you need from oil change all the way to a full custom build. Or if you want to hot rod your bike out, give us a call. Or if you just need the parts to do it, we're set up with everybody. We can get you connected and get you set up. So, and we can drop ship anywhere in the country. So even if you need big stuff like exhaust and stuff, I can usually have stuff to you within a day or two. And yeah, so not all that stuff's on our website. So just give us a call if you need something, or shoot us an email, chopperheadcustoms@gmail.com, or just go to the website and you can email us off there, chopperhead.com. Give us a follow on Instagram, chopperhead, and on Facebook, it's Chopperhead Customs, custom spelled with a K, or give us a call, 508-995-6764. If you are interested in finding out more about the podcast, you can go get every episode and get more information over at bigtruthpodcast.com. And if you are interested in supporting the podcast, first things first, subscribe or like the podcast wherever it is that you listen to it. Spread the word, leave a review, leave stars, whatever it is, whatever you can do, and then tell your friends and just spread the word. That's the best way to do it. And if you're even more interested in supporting the podcast, you can go to patreon.com/bigtruth and sign up there. And that is a way for you to financially support the podcast, but you also get stuff for it. You get exclusives. You get, we had Lenny do a live performance. You get access to the episodes earlier. We're going to do some tour reports from the road. Some of those are going to be general consumption, and some are going to just be for the Patreon subscribers. So get in now before we leave next week, and you'll get some of that stuff no one else does. And also, it's a way to help the show keep the lights on here, keep us growing, and keep us continuing. So, and all my Patreon subscribers, you motherfuckers are the salt of the earth. I can't say enough about how much gratitude I have for you guys. It's awesome that you chose to support this show, because I know there's a ton of podcasts and a ton of other places you could be putting that money. So I super appreciate it. And without further ado, we'll get into today's episode right now.
Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yeah, once again, we got liftoff. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode of the Big Truth Podcast, broadcasting live from Chopperhead Custom Cycles. I'm here with my man Bryan Harris, who you might know from a band, a Boston legendary band called Death Before Dishonor. What's happening, bro?
What's up? Good to be here. Psyched to be here.
Yeah, man. We already did a podcast before.
Part 2.
Yeah, just drinking some Coronas, talking shit.
Mm-hmm. Very cool to be here. My first time down this spot. Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, there'll be a bunch to talk about tonight, but I guess, just starting off, like, what's going on? You just had a 20th, that's a 20th anniversary of a record, and I know Fast Break re-released the record. That's a big milestone, and it's like weird because, like, I still think of hardcore as like a new thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Same.
And then it's like you look back and it's like, all right, friends of mine have records that are 20-something years old, whatever. It's fucking bananas, man. But
it's wild for sure. Like, starting this band, we were just a fucking bunch of kids trying to do whatever. Yeah. And I'm not like my mind's all over the place. So to be like, oh, we got to do this re-release for, I think of like the legendary bands like Agnostic Front's doing 30 years of this, I did a Set It Off anniversary tour. Like, of course, those are the legendary bands that I looked up to. And then when it's our turn, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking old.
Yeah.
It's cool, but yeah, it's mind blowing to me too, because I'm just like, I don't know.
That's when you feel your age, right? Like, you're like, shit, we did this record 20 years ago.
For sure. Like, it rolls up and you're like, it's been fucking 20 years.
Yeah, man. So fucking, like, now are you integrating any, so let me ask you this, and this, obviously you've been doing music for a long time, and 20 years later, obviously the band's changed some and the interests have changed. Like, are you integrating any of those songs more in because of the 20th anniversary, or do you like, fuck,
No.
I don't want to play those. I don't want to play that shit.
So that time in the band, I feel like, so it's 20 years of that record, but we've actually been a band for 21 years.
Sure, yeah.
And now, like, because of pressing plants and COVID and all that shit, it's actually 22 years. But so out of that record, we play the title track, True Till Death.
Yeah.
We'll do like a couple little other things from it, but more than anything, like the record's not on like Spotify and all that stuff, and we never had a vinyl release. It only came out on CD.
Yeah.
So
because it was back 20 years ago was the
100%. Yeah. CDs and whatever. So more than anything, it's just like to commemorate it. Right?
Yeah.
That's the right word.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if we did like a certain Brockton show, would play like a little more because that was like our home base starting it.
And you're gonna have, if you're doing a show for that, you're gonna have some of the older heads that
For
might
sure.
not be around come out, just, and that's gonna be
And
what they
enjoy
identify
that.
with. Yeah.
So, I mean, and who knows? I do think it's super hard to get that record. You know, there's like a, YouTube record of it before it came out. Now, if it goes on Spotify and we play shows and people are like, yo, play this song.
Yeah.
Sure. There's a handful of stuff I play, but like I said, if anything, I think we're commemorating a certain time in Death Before Dishonor's history and letting people know like where we came from. I don't want to dog something, but it's like, that's, you know,
I get it.
When you're starting a band, right? You're like, so, and with that True Till Death release, the demos on there too, which we recorded in 2001. True Till Death came out in 2002. So we put that on there too. It's like a bonus. If anything, we're commemorating it. It's a different time in the band's history.
And it's also not archiving, but
kind of like
archiving, but like having it available, but so people, have a historical reference.
100%.
Yeah.
Because other stuff you can find online, Spotify, or you can get the records or CDs. The CD's been out of print for God knows how long. It's not on Spotify. And there's a lot of people that have been like, hey,
how many copies of the original CD were even pressed? Because that's
a good question.
That's a long time ago. Like, it's a different world now. Like, like
it did well. So when that came out, we were on a record called Spook City Records.
Yeah.
They were out of Pennsylvania. The dude was from Chicago. He started a label out of Philly area. And at that time, he did a lot of bands that were like on the same level, right? Like, I hate to use the term, but like Weekend Warriors, like touring here and there, mid-level, up and coming.
Yeah.
And we met a lot of bands because of that. So I don't know what we pressed, but it definitely went through like a couple pressings because there's like a couple different versions of it.
No, but I mean, it's like 20 years ago. If there's only 3,000 copies or 4,000 copies of the CD, like
it's not like 20,000,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You know?
So it's going to be a new listen for probably a good amount of fans that you have now. Like,
for sure. And I think the style is, I don't want to talk shit, but on my own shit. But I always feel like our older stuff is like a run-on sentence.
Well, it was young.
We're young. We don't know, right? We're just having fun and trying to like, be a band. So it's tough for me to, and like I said, if somebody wants to hear specific things, we'll play it. But, and aside from True Till Death, the song, the
title track,
I think the song's catchy, but here's the thing. It's fucking 4.5 minutes long. What hardcore band plays 4.5
I know,
minutes?
dude, that's like a fucking rock opera. And
I wish we went back and re-recorded it to make it 2.5 minutes because it's catchy and has some cool parts. We could have cut out a lot of the bullshit.
Cut some meat out, yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna do something else off of it to quote unquote celebrate it.
Yeah.
And then like if people ask, like there's stuff we know out of it, I'm sure people are gonna be like, yo, play this song, and it's like, I'm over here now.
Couldn't even do it if you wanted, probably.
I don't
some
know.
of it. But yeah, man, I get it, man, because like, sometimes like people, I won't say, no, like Jimmy Flynn or something will be like, dude, can you get ITI to play a song? I'm like, I don't want to do shit that I did when I was 16 years old. I agree to do shit because it's Jimmy, and who can say no to Jimmy? Like, fucking love the guy, right? But it's just like, I wrote those songs in my like house when I lived at home when I was like 16, man. Like I don't do that no more.
Funny story that ties into this. Like 2 weeks ago, Jimmy Flynn texted me, and he's like, so I had a band before Death Before Dishonor, 96 or 7 till 99. put out a demo, put out a CD on 400 plus records, XXL, Brockton, 121. Anyways, the band was cool. We did some stuff. I wasn't even like the original singer, but that's like where
I remember this, and I told someone that you were coming on today, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you used to sing for it," and I just blanked out on the name.
Yeah, Incision. And there's probably like 400 Incisions.
I kept going to say Incendiary, and I was like, "No, I know it's not that."
Usually, what people say is Indecision, which is like the bigger New York band. So, anyways, Jimmy Flynn texted me like 2.5 weeks ago, and he's like,
do an Incision. Fucking.
He goes, "Do an Incision reunion at the Earth Crisis show," and I'm like, "Dude." we did one. When Rudy passed away, he was the original singer, one of the original singers of Incision. I came in later. There was 2 singers, Rudy and the guitar player of Brawl Park.
Okay.
It was their side project.
Okay. I didn't realize Rudy was.
Yeah. So that was before he did With One Intent. And then after he passed, there was a show in Brockton, and they were like, "Oh, do a reunion." And mind you, like half of that band is God knows where.
Yeah.
And we put together like Dennis from Brawl Park that sang, even though he played guitar in Brawl Park, did guitars for the Incision, whatever.
Yeah.
So we did that for Rudy. And then when Jimmy Flynn hit me up, I'm like, dude,
come on, man.
I'm not saying I wouldn't, but it's like,
no, and I get it.
And much respect to Jimmy Flynn for knowing like the history of everybody.
Man. Yeah.
You can't even.
No, it's crazy. Like, because, and this brings up another part we're talking about, like, it kind of related. Like, I still feel like it's a new thing, but, like, because I remember when I got into hardcore, right? Yep. It was only 6 or 7 years to catch up on.
Right.
Now there's, like, a fucking 40-year history. Like, imagine being a kid getting into it now, and, like, okay, so you're probably getting into the new shit, because that's what you're exposed to, and there's going to be kids in your age range. And then you find out, oh, they were influenced by this. And then you can go back and back and back and back and back and back and back.
For a long time.
Like, it's hard. It would be hard to keep up on all that shit. But there's dudes like Jimmy and a bunch of people that know a bunch of old shit. Like, and it's cool, like, because, we get hit up for that, and I'm like, what? Fuck, yeah.
I mean, that's cool. I remember as a kid, as we spoke a little bit earlier, Intent to Injure, and I remember, like, being at a show, hearing a bunch of band. Yeah. Like for me, I'm like Incision, like, dude, we played 1-2-1. And don't get me wrong, we did more than that, but I was like, we were like a 1-2-1 house band. I kind of, I mean, I guess if I go back in time, like, we did some cool shit. But
Brockton and New Bedford are the same in that way. There's bands that would play in those areas. They didn't play anywhere else. Like, but be like a household
isn't
name.
New Bedford the South Coast Brockton?
Pretty much.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, high schools used to fight. And, like at football games and shit. Anyone that's not from Massachusetts, like, Massachusetts is filled with all these old mill cities that have like decayed, and like now they're coming back, but like to some extent, but like they're not coming back with like manufacturing; they just come back with other shit. But like basically rents going up. That's about it.
Yeah.
but yeah. So it was all these mill cities that were like like abandoned and like just fell to the wayside, and then they were just wastelands, and then like, but we were all born of that shit. You know what I mean?
For sure. And because, like you said, they were wastelands at the time, like, why not put on a hardcore show? What the fuck else is going on?
Put them on anywhere. Yeah. Right. There was no rules. There was way less rules back then.
Absolutely not.
I remember we'd rent like a practice space. It'd be like the size of this fucking room. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be like $200 a month. Like, like you could live there. You know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, that's what 1-2-1 was when I first got into bands. It was all rehearsal rooms, and there was one big room that XXL rehearsed in, and they were like, oh, we'll just put on shows, build a stage,
why
charge money, and boom.
Pay for the room and practice for free.
That's what happened.
Yeah. So how did you, like, going back, like, for people that don't know, like, I know people know the band and know you as a persona, but like, just for a little history, like, how did you even find your way into this stuff? Like what led you on the path to finding like hardcore and punk rock and, metal or, whatever,
When I was like, I don't know, elementary school, going into junior high, like, I was super into hip hop, started getting into skating. And with that, like, and at that time, people that were like skating and stuff were into hip hop and metal or whatever. So, I listened to a little metal. I can never remember exactly what would, like, one thing I remember for sure was the Biohazard Punishment video. Yeah. Like, and I don't know if that was on Beavis and Butthead or Headbangers Ball. You know what I mean? But like, and even like Suicidal being, it had to be Headbangers Ball. And just being up late, like when I should probably be in bed. But coming from metal and hip hop and seeing bands like Biohazard or Suicidal just having like that kind of like street appeal. And by no means do I mean like I'm street. I'm just saying like there's something authentic to like the lyrics and stuff like that resonated with hip hop.
Is like the difference with like the main difference between like hardcore and metal, I feel like, is metal is more fantasy, and hardcore is more street.
Absolutely,
like for the most part. You know, not every band. You know what I mean?
Right, but theoretically, and that's what like resonated because I'm like, oh shit! When I saw that Biohazard Punishment video, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh, this makes more sense than the Slayer. And I love Slayer, but the Slayer video or Metallica or Megadeth,
a switch flipped. And you're like,
for sure.
What the fuck is that? This is you were attracted to it. I love that because we all had that.
Right. And like I said, my memory's kind of. I know that video stuck out. I know the Suicidal video stuck out.
Which Suicidal?
They were skating in the back thing.
Was it Possessed to Skate?
Possessed to Skate. Yeah. And I was like, what are these fucking dudes doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure it all out. And I grew up in Randolph, which is a suburb of Boston, like half an hour. We had a Strawberries. So sure as fuck, I go to Strawberries to buy the Biohazard tape.
Yeah.
And this is like, I don't know, 92, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's what set that all off to go down there. And then just thankless buying this, anything that looked remotely close. Luckily, Strawberries sold tickets to concerts or shows, and there'd be a show listing, and I'd see a name that looked cool and go find the tape and be like, yeah, I think I want to go to this. So
dude, I remember, that's like the best thing is like pre-internet, you had to like be a fucking sleuth.
Oh,
like you have detective skills. That,
for sure.
Because like like you said, like that's how we found out shit. Like you looked at a record you liked, who'd they think? What shirts are they even wearing in pictures?
That too.
Be like, oh shit, all right, this must be good, and then go look it up. And then I remember too, looking at a record, and it was either an epic win or an epic failure. If you bought something just based on the cover art, like,
you could strike out.
You could strike, but you could hit a home run too. And that was kind of the fun of it.
For sure.
It wasn't so fun when you only had money for like one thing. Like that was
right, because you had to wait another week or so to maybe get a record or a tape, and so that's kind of how I like got into that.
Yeah.
And then like once it hit, and also in Randolph, there was like, in my age group, aside from the skater dudes, a couple of dudes were like, oh, this is hardcore. And I think I saw the Biohazard, but like then these dudes like kind of taught me. One dude, because there was a VOTEC school, which means people from different regions went there.
Yeah. That's I went to the New Bedford Vote.
Okay, so there was one in Canton, and one of the dudes that like went to the local parties was in a local band called Recess. And they're like, oh, they're playing at the Stoughton There's a hardcore show at the Stoughton VFW. Mind you, that wasn't my first show, but that was like what started leading me down like, oh, I can just go a town over and there's a show at the thing. And it's like, I'm like, this is the biggest band in the world. Can I buy your tape at Strawberries? They're like, fuck no, you gotta buy it here. But yeah, that's one of the things that catapulted me for sure.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It was the learning process. And it was like, I feel like it was also fun too, because it was also like getting into a secret world. Yeah. And then it was like-minded people. Like it was like, you go to school the next day and like, you're like fucking, I still have lumps in my lip from Wrecking Crew shows at the Rat, right?
That's wild.
And I'd go to school the next day, fucking black eye, fucking whatever. Like, what happened to you? I was at a show in Boston. What? Like,
what kind of show?
Yeah. Right. Well, you wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was something very special that, and even when I'm sure it's the same with you. When you first start going to shows, you don't know anybody, right? No. You're not cool. Maybe you have a friend. And
like a fucking 13-year-old kid. I was a little fucking idiot.
I had a couple friends that were like, when you're in the mosh pit, watch out for these guys. Yeah. Luckily, I had that, but I mean, I still got kicked in the face fucking 7 days from Sunday. But there was something about that was very organic, and it was very appealing to me, and I fucking ate it up every way I could. I mean, sending away money for tapes and shirts that I half the time never got. But whatever.
That was when it was still 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
For sure.
And
self-addressed stamp envelope.
Yeah. Toxic Shock record catalogs or fucking or Victory record catalogs or fucking whatever.
Victory was actually at least good. You
could at least have a recourse and get your shit from them.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't immediate, but like once I figured out who Rick to Life was, everybody can say whatever they want, but without Rick to Life, there was many bands I was able to figure out without like, aside from like a thanks list and stuff, but it brought it to like the more like real hardcore level.
Well, whatever he's got going on.
Yeah.
Whatever he's got going on now.
We're not talking about now. We're talking about
back then.
Yeah.
He was responsible for helping distribute and get a lot of shit out there.
For sure. And maybe ripping people off. Like, it's not like.
No. But
I know this now.
But at the same time, he did help spread names. He just didn't give the money where it's supposed to go, whatever. Sure. But, and then he's obviously he's got fucking mental health issues.
For sure. So regardless, I don't even want to. But back then, it was like.
But he would come to shows all over the place and just set up merch booths, and it helped spread the word about
with
shit.
Demos and bands, dude, shit.
His compilations, all that shit.
Yeah, that too.
But everybody was doing like compilations was cool. Like,
it was sick. That's how you figured out. I mean, the first East Coast Assault.
Yeah.
I remember buying that. That had Berserker, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Even Life Agony was on there with Plexiglass Gate, like one of my favorite Life Agony. But yeah, compilations was a thing. Like,
you don't see that as much anymore.
No.
It still happens here and there. I know. Pitchfork just did a New York one for like newer stuff, but like you don't see it as much anymore.
I noticed a couple younger labels like starting to do that.
No, good.
And I think it's cool. And I'm sure it's like on a digital platform opposed to whatever.
It's tough, yeah. Like,
but that was cool. I mean, this goes back to like the mixtape days.
We're also just showing our age here because who needs fucking compilations when you can just make a playlist on fucking Spotify of whatever the fuck you like,
And I'm sure if you're on the internet, you can already decide your top 10 bands before you need to get there. But there's something to those compilations.
Spotify will tell you what your top 10 bands are at the end of the year. This is what you listen to, and I'm like, oh, shit.
But those days were cool because, like, yeah, you could get that first East Coast Assault. There's a little bit of everything on there.
Yeah.
All different types of hardcore. In fact, I guess it's coming back around too, because if you listen to hardcore bands now, they kind of sound like all over the place, like they did in the late 90s.
Sure, yeah.
Where you'd have like an orange 9mm Clutch.
Yeah.
Strife.
Yeah.
Hatebreed, Madball, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's cool when you see a comp and it's kind of like a little bit of everything.
It's cool now that, it's what's weird. I think the main difference that, and I'm sure it was always kind of like this, but I didn't see it as much, but it seems like back in the day, shows were more diverse and mixed.
Yes.
So you'd have like a crusty band, a hardcore band, a fucking, a straight edge band or something, a fucking whatever, like in a metal band or something, which I liked, you know what I mean? Because it kept things interesting and you could be exposed to new things. But now there's so many different sub scenes within hardcore. You still
labeled.
You got the crusty like grind shit.
Yeah.
But everyone's doing good. It's crazy, right? Like,
which is a good thing.
They're all doing good. Like, and it's just like.
Whether it's labeled or something, I do think that it's at least somewhat a throwback, because you're right. Like that was a thing, right? So back in the day, you would go to a show. You need to be there from start to finish because you never know what you're going to see, right?
Yeah.
You're going to see a Madball show because you know Madball, but you don't know the 4 other bands that open. You're going to be there at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're like,
or 2 if it was a matinee.
Yeah, that too. And then one of my shows I remember specifically going to see Madball, VOD opened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I remember buying the Still 7-inch. I'm like, this is fucking wild. I just never would. And if you weren't there from start to finish, you would never be exposed to these things.
Yeah.
I do think it's coming around diversity-wise, but you're right. Everything has a subgenre of something.
Yeah, and then like it's all 3 bands of the same subgenre.
Yeah.
A lot, not always.
For sure.
But, more often than not, from what I see nowadays.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but I like it all. Like for lack of a better word, I'll go to the Siege Infest show, but I'll go to the fucking Death Before Dishonor show or Madball show, or I'll go to the fucking whatever show. Like, certain things.
There's some things. I'm with you.
But I go to a diverse.
Sure.
I'm into a diverse cross section of stuff, and
same.
Life gets in the way. Can't go to everything anymore.
Right. You get older, you get busier. Yeah. I mean, I try to go as much as possible.
Oh, and by the way, just as a shout out to Jimmy Flynn. ITI was going to play that Seed show, Infest show, but I had hernia surgery. The hernia surgery got moved up. That was a real excuse. I wasn't just saying like I didn't want to.
This goes back to old age shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to
And being a dumbass, not knowing my age and still trying to lift weights like I was fucking 25, you know what I mean?
not getting younger.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, man. So talk about like how did Death Before Dishonor, like, so you got into hardcore through all those means, but like what made you want to start a band and how'd you go about starting CBD?
So I was working at Domino's Pizza in Randolph.
Nice.
And our sister Domino's was in Holbrook. I was in hardcore. I worked with a couple dudes that were in hardcore. The driver of the Holbrook store was the drummer of Brawl Park.
Okay.
And I knew Brawl Park. I was in a Brawl Park. I bought the red tape at fucking Strawberries. Somebody's like, yo, he came in to pick something up. And they're like, that's the drummer of Brawl Park. I'm like, whatever. I don't believe that shit. You know, I don't fucking know. Also, same Domino's, H2O showed up to pick up pizzas years ago. I was like starstruck as a child. But anyways, so I ended up meeting the drummer, and he's like, oh, we practice in Brockton at this place called, I don't think it was even called 121, but it was 121 Main Street, Brockton. Come down, hang out. And I was like, I can go to your practice?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Wednesday nights. Fucking go down there, take the fucking bat bus. And their singer at the time was like going to school in Florida. So they're practicing. I'm like, all right, this is how a band works, right? You just fucking in this piece of shit place and you fucking practice. And I used to go every fucking Wednesday. And then, because I had nothing better to do in my life. And then I remember like...
but you're a kid, that's a fucking cool thing.
It was the sickest thing ever to me, right? Like I see and there's other bands and I'm meeting people and I kind of like start understanding like you can just start a band. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't mean you're going to be good. Yeah. So with the singer I was being gone, I remember them being like, oh, we're going to cover Set It Off. Why don't you try it? And I know Set It Off because I'm in a fucking heart. And I probably sound like dog shit, but I cover Set It Off. I'm like, okay, I could start a band. Perfect.
Yeah. I got through Set It Off as a cover. We can do this.
I'm going to be the biggest band ever.
Yeah.
I did a couple random bands with people like that practiced up there that I kind of went to school with. We never played a show. There's a band called One Man Stands. We might have had a recording. Anyways.
That sounds a little cryptic. That means like there is, but you don't want anyone to go digging for it.
I wish we could find it because I actually sound like Roger Murray, one voice, and that's my favorite record.
Yeah.
Because obviously I was mimicking that.
Yeah.
That's not what I sound like at all.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I sound like that. At least I'm convinced in my head. The dude that like had all of his shit passed away, so I don't fucking know. Yeah. Rest in peace. But so I'm just hanging out there. I'm meeting people, and then the guitar player of Brawl Park, and this is by no means chronological. Like I'm sure things have happened, but somehow Incision's a band. I ended up like fucking hanging out in their practice room. I don't know, do whatever. I ended up being, so Incision was two singers, Rudy and Dennis. Somehow the first show, I'm the only singer maybe? I don't fucking know. I ended up doing Incision. Incision is a band for a few years. We do some weekends, travel a little bit, nothing crazy, demo, full length of 400 plus. It breaks up, ends horribly, just a young band.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, dude, I just want to start a fucking band that's like super fucking heavy, whatever. I asked my drummer of Incision. He's like, I'm done with bands. Fuck this. And I'm like, that sucks. It's the only drummer I know. He's sick.
Yeah. Drummers are hottest motherfucker to procure.
And this dude is fucking amazing. So there was also a band called League of Pain at the time. We get the guitar of League of Pain. One of my best friends is dating this fucking kid named Frankie, who's younger, and I'm like, hey, do you know any fucking drummers? He's like, I play drums. He comes out, fucking tries out. He sucks. Back around years later, hit up Frank, because you always try to find like younger people, even though we're young. Like, I just can't find I convinced my drummer, my old drummer Incision, to start a band. He's like, all right, I'll do it one more time. And then I hit up Frankie. He's like, I play bass. I'm like, is this like fucking drums? Because I'm telling you, I'm fucking taking all your shit if you suck.
Yeah.
Comes up, he's a fucking amazing bassist. So it's all spawned of ashes of 121 bands from Brockton. And we started Death Before Dishonor. And I don't know. We just wanted to be a very heavy hardcore band. And that's what we're doing, you know. Master Killer was a big record at that time. Sure, the Hatebreed down, or even going into Satisfaction, you know what I mean? Because it's post Satisfaction. Just wanted to be a heavy hardcore band, and did a demo, did some shows, did a full length, and then just a bunch of weekend warrior shit. You know what I mean? Anywhere we could go. And that was a time like the New York hardcore message board. It was like getting into the internet, but not the internet yet.
Yeah,
so you could
yeah.
there were resources and stuff like that. And we would we're going to do a weekend and do North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and come home.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. So that's how it kind of, it unfolded from old bands from 121 that wanted to start something new.
But the difference is and this is not to talk shit about a lot of Massachusetts bands, but a lot of New Bedford bands or a lot of Brockton bands that didn't do that.
Right.
And that's how you guys got your name out more and got around more, is just going out and doing those weekends. Even like you said, you go to North Carolina.
For sure.
What the fuck's down there? You don't know. And now you go down there and you find there's this whole little scene, and now those dudes are listening to you.
You're not
those
wrong.
girls will do that.
And I feel like
That's how you do it, man. You got to just get out.
like we did some shows around here. Things were cool. Like all our friends came.
Yeah.
Right. Sick. Got banned from Jared's in Attleboro because people are spin kicking. Got banned from Bob's in Bridgewater.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, like I always wanted to do more. I don't know how to, I always try to figure it out. I'm by no means a fucking singer or I don't know what the fuck I am, but I'll figure something out. And I was
Yeah.
and I remember specifically, and this ties into a release. We were down south somewhere, and one of our shows got canceled because, of course, they would be, right? And I'm on some website.
And you're already down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's like you leave Thursday, play Friday night, Saturday, and maybe we're like in Savannah, Georgia, or something. Like, fuck, trying to find a show for Sunday, and then we drive home, right? Go to work Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need something North Carolina. And whether there's a message board or something, I see this band, I click on it to see their profile. I'm like, they got tattoos. So wrote down the address. I'm like, we're showing up to the show. There's a show Sunday with this band. They're called Nourish the Flame. I don't fucking know. They got tattoos.
Yeah.
They got to be hardcore.
We probably are right. Yeah.
Show up to the skate park in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We're there early. I see dudes with I don't know who's what. I'm like, hey man, we're a band from Boston. We had just put out our demo too. I'm like, could we play? And it was the promoter, and he's like, absolutely not. There's too many bands. I'm like, all right, well, we're gonna fucking hang out. Whatever.
Yeah.
I meet the other people come out. We're talking. Singer of Nourish the Flames, like, just split a set with us, dude. One of the craziest shows I've ever played.
Yeah.
We sell to me 400 demos, but 30 or 10, whatever.
That's big numbers.
Huge. That's gas money home.
Yeah.
And then we make this bond, which we later do a split CD, whatever, with this band. And that's the big thing at that time. It's like getting out, meeting other bands from other places and making those connections that, and you're not wrong. I feel like there was a lot of fucking amazing bands from this area that I wish got out.
Yeah, if they just put it I know that happened to us. We couldn't do tours. Half the time, one of us was in jail or couldn't do it for different things or whatever, and it was just like that. And it was so.
And I think I kind of lucked out too, because this is hitting the beginning of the internet era, where it's not all internet, but there is an internet. There's some way to figure out where to go. Otherwise, how the fuck would I ever know about that show?
Yeah, you would have, exactly.
When we drive by and be like, oh, tattoo guys, right?
Hey, what's up? Yeah.
But I did always
But also with that, you guys are getting your name around and be like, oh, you guys hear these guys from Boston? They played by us last week.
For sure. And we were just doing that type of shit at the beginning. That was demo days. And then eventually we linked up with Spook City Records, did the Trudel Death record. And same thing, heading out to the Midwest, playing fucking Indiana with Blood In, Blood Out. My boy Shane from The Killer, he's also in Hold My Own now. He used to do a fest, Arlington Heights Fest, and I remember sending out demos, right?
Yeah.
Send out demos. He heard the demos. He's like, yo, play this fest.
Yeah.
Played the fest a couple times. Just weird shit, and always make it a weekend.
First time you play, you're on earlier. Second time, you're on a little bit later. Third time, you're a little bit later. Yeah,
But always trying to make a weekend out of something, and we're also hanging out with homies, right? Just go out, play shows. So that's how it all kind of started.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I gotta pause this right now. This is the first time I've ever had to do this. I gotta pause for a piss break. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
All right, sorry about that. I'm used to drinking Tito's or Ocho and not Coronas, and they're going through me.
Same.
It's all right. So, how did you go from doing weekends, and then you got your first release out. When did you go to what was your first tour? How did you get into doing your first or early tours?
So from 2002 when True Death came out, Weekend Warrior, we did a week-long West Coast tour.
Did you fly out or did you?
Yeah, we flew out. Luckily, Mikey Hood hooked it up somehow.
Yeah. He's looking for a roommate, by the way.
I saw that. But back then
if you're straight edge, hit him up.
He had West Coast Worldwide, which is a venue.
Yeah.
This is like 03, 04. So we go out there, play a handful of shows, play Tijuana, Mexico, but just a week. Come back.
How was Mexico?
Dude, here's the thing. Dude, craziest shit ever. We show up. My boy Renee does a show. He's my boy now, but then I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Mikey Hood hooks it up. We go to TJ. A good friend of mine, Jimmy Knuckles, was living in San Diego at the time. And I was actually on probation for some shit. I'm like, I don't even know if I can leave the country, but we go there. We're like, we're going to play a show. And he was like, yeah, your show is supposed to be over here, but it's raining out. So we have to wait for these people to finish their coffee, and then we're going to move tables out, and you're going to have a hardcore show here.
It's like right on the outside of
what the fuck is going on? Weirdest thing, we played a show. I don't think, maybe 5 people from Tijuana, 20 people from Boston. So we fly out to California. DBD's going. COA comes. This dude, Chris Mission. A couple other, Sean Trask, whatever. Rudy's out there with Big Chris.
Yeah.
So the TJ show is, and there's like a handful of other dudes that happen to be there. It's literally
all Boston dudes.
25 dudes from Boston and 5 dudes from TJ.
Yeah.
Worst, best show? I don't fucking know. Windows got smashed out because there's this tiny little coffee spot.
Yeah.
And then I pieced the fuck back out and went to Jimmy's house in San Diego because I was on probation. So we did that week run. We come back. We're writing songs and starting to really form what the band's going to be. I reach out to a bunch of labels. I don't know what that means at the time, but I'm like, I don't know why we're leaving Spook City, but we were we've done the weekends, we've done the West Coast thing. We want to just keep on going. I don't know how to do that, but we're trying to.
But you're feeling like there's a momentum now.
For sure. Things are good. And I remember reaching out to a bunch of labels and I just get snuffed. And I reach out to Chris Wren from Bridge 9. And to be honest, at the time, if you listen to True Death, right, which is our last release, except for maybe the split with Nourish Flame, but still same type of music, and you listen to what's going on at Bridge 9, this is 04 maybe.
Yeah.
Not so. I'm just reaching out to anybody, and all the other labels are we're not interested. Chris Ryan was like, I'm coming to the show you're playing. We did a Fallen Friends benefit in Worcester with Blood for Blood, a bunch of bands. He's like, I'll check out your band. And he came out and he was like, dude, I like what you're doing live. Didn't really like the old stuff, which whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, we can figure something out. So, and I, coming from Randolph, I don't know if this matters, but the next town over is Stoughton, and I know the Outpost is in Stoughton. Yeah. I know Blood for Blood is recorded there. I know Dropkick Murphys.
So many people recorded,
and those records are fucking phenomenal. And I'm like,
you gotta get. It was I gotta get in.
All I want to do is record at the fucking Outpost.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works, but and it's also the town over. As we talked earlier, Randolph used to fight Stoughton at football games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we link up. Chris Ryan's like, yo, let's do this. And you know what? Actually, before that, Chris Baldwin, a very good friend of mine, was like, yo, we're going to go do backup vocals on Some Kind of Hates record at the Outpost. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, all right, we're about to sign to Bridge 9. Yeah. I'm going to become best friends with this guy, and he's going to want to record us. And that actually was the start of the link. So we went there, did backups on the Some Kind of Hate record.
Yeah.
And then
shout out to Matt Pike.
Matt Pike. So we go in and do Friends, Family, Forever. And at this point, we're forming ourselves as a real band, kind of get what we're doing. We go in, we do the EP. It was technically an EP. Chris does a bunch of so the record's coming out April of 05, let's say, or May, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
We recorded. We probably recorded in 04. There's all this promo shit, and this is like our break. And like I don't know how, in hardcore you have a break, but we had a fucking break. There was a tour in Europe, and I didn't know this yet, but it was Agnostic Front. It was the Uni Tour 2005. Agnostic Front, Terror, Diecast. Last minute, and when I say last minute, 10 days before the tour is supposed to start, Terror cancels for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And this guy, Ono Cro-Mag, rest in peace, had heard Friends Family Forever from the promo thing because he does a magazine. They need a band for it. Ono recommends to MAD, take Death Before Dishonor. This is where I don't fucking remember whether Ono called me or he called Chris, but whatever. They're like, yo, can you go to Europe for 6 weeks?
Yeah, this is when tours were like tours, yeah.
In 10 days.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 10 days. And I was like, I just went, yes.
Yeah.
And in the band.
Like, and I'll figure it out. Yeah.
That's what I did. I just went, dude, it's with the Agnostic Front. And retract, after getting the hardcore, Biohazard, Life Agony, all this stuff, Agnostic Front One Voice is my fucking record.
Yeah,
when I saw that tape, the cover, every song on it is my shit. And going back to Brawl Park, they used to cover one of the songs on that fucking record, and I would do it here and there. So anyways, I could go to Europe with the Agnostic Front for 6 on a bus.
Yeah. Your first tour, yeah. You're not even doing a van tour, yeah, yeah.
We don't have passports.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's I'm basically have like a probation thing from a legal case, but if I pay it off, I know I'm fine. So I just say yes. And the band at that point is like, we recorded this record. Any opportunities we're going to fucking take, fuck everything. And we got that offer. We all told our jobs, like, we're going to Europe for 6 weeks. And we made it work. Chris helped us out, like, with the flights. And then once you buy flights, Boston has a passport office.
Yeah.
So if you have flights, you can actually get a passport in 24, 48 hours. It costs more money.
Yeah.
So I went to the court, paid off my fucking probation shit. We got passports and we went to fucking Europe. Oh, cheapest flights. We fly into Amsterdam a day early. That's the first show, blah, blah, blah. And that started it. So we did the Unity tour.
It doesn't matter. As long as you get out there.
Dude.
You can fly, coach.
One of the best fucking tours I've ever done. And Roger and them guys were so fucking rad. And they loved us. And they were coming home to do a U.S. tour on the same thing. It was the Another Voice record. This band, Love Is Red, is broken up. 2 weeks into this tour, Roger's like, do you want to do the U.S. tour? It's 8 weeks. So 6 weeks in Europe, 1 week off, 8 weeks in the States.
Yeah.
I think we only did 6 weeks because we actually had another U.S. tour lined up because that was going to be our premiere tour.
Yeah.
So that's our exposure. And so when we were in Europe, say it started in April, Friends Family Forever came out in May. We couldn't get the records in time. We were like burning them, making fake covers, selling it. But that was our exposure, and we just learned to fucking tour. I don't know. We did the U.S. week off, 6-8 weeks in the States with AF, and then did a tour at Blacklisted, and we just kept on touring and fucking making records. I don't know.
What were some of the lessons? Like, what were the hard lessons on like that? Maybe I have a feeling maybe the U.S. was a little bit tougher than the Europe stuff. But what were some of the lessons that came with that? Like you said, you just learned to tour.
I would say lessons like 05 in Europe. Cell phones weren't getting home, right?
You couldn't put the AT&T $10 a day plan on, right?
Call centers, internet cafes, coins in a fucking phone.
Yeah.
Learning to communicate back home. Obviously, we're young. We don't have families. Besides, like no one has kids and whatever. But also at that time, like
just trying to let people know you're still alive.
For sure. Yeah. But also like learning the culture over there on 6 weeks, no days off, no fucking days off. And people are like, oh, you're lucky you're on a fucking bus, and that was cool. But when you're on a bus, you got to shower at the venue. And back then, no disrespect, but Europe didn't believe in fucking warm water.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of lessons. Like
there's no warm water and there's no ice in the
never
drinks.
ice. Yeah. I mean, no, they got a little better. But and I'll say this one thing with Roger, and I remember waking up every morning because Roger was like an early waker, and I'm like, yo, just bothering him about his life, learning everything.
Yeah.
Dave for real showed me how to like fucking tour. Like if you want to be a fucking band, and that's that time, not now. I'm not saying you have to tour fucking 200 days a year like we used to, but it really showed me.
Which Agnostic Friend's done the last couple of years before COVID, at least.
They for sure did. And even for us, because coming out of that from like 06, 07 to 2009, 2010, we toured 200 and 250 days a year. And a lot of people don't realize it because a lot of it's international because you do the States every other week. But I learned a lot of shit from that. The States, the shows weren't as good as Europe, but they were still fucking, for us, they were fucking phenomenal. Like I'm seeing the fucking world.
Even
man.
if there's 40 people at the show, it's still
I could give
40 new
less.
people listening to your shit.
But I'm also in the States, so things are like, you know,
a little easier.
The accommodations, whatever. But yeah, I learned a lot from that. And then, I don't know, man. It definitely formed us into what we became for a bit.
Absolutely, man. And you know, shout out to Roger, man, because he's a cool motherfucker, dude. In real life, like, and I remember even just going to the old Rumblers car shows, and he'd be like, he's like, you want some pizza? Yeah. He's like, let me take you to a spot. Like, he's just that dude.
He's very authentic.
He's very authentic, and he's like.
Years later, after he had his first child, we played Arizona. Yeah. And he's like, I'm like, yo, we're playing Arizona. And he's like, all right, this is the first time I'm leaving my kid with a babysitter. Granted, he only came out for like 20 minutes, but you know what I mean? He's that much of a fucking friend. Like, that dude's fucking rad. And all those guys in the band. Yeah. Granted, that lineup was like Mike Gallo, who's still in the band, fucking sweetheart. Vinny calls me every fucking holiday, fucking, you know.
Yeah, if the Vinny Christmas or your birthday text is a little late, you feel weird. Yeah, like,
for sure. And at that time, it was Steve Gallo in the band, who I'm still friends with, and Lenny, who was in a couple other bands with Mike Gallo before that. But yeah, regardless, all fucking sweethearts, made us feel. I mean, imagine like I'm going to Europe playing with one of my favorite fucking bands. And I remember the first show, we're in Amsterdam, and I remember like Roger, everybody's on stage like trying to figure out what the fuck we are, because whether Roger heard it or not, there's no doubt someone told Roger they should put us on there. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, we can't fucking suck. Yeah. And the crowd sucked because it's our first time in Europe. Everybody's staring, and it was a packed show.
Yeah, but they don't know you, so.
And then after, I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. Roger's like, this is great. I go sell merch, and I'm like, we just sold a bunch of fucking merch. This is fucking. Yeah. We're a hit. Yeah. But yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah. What are there any? This is, you got 20-something years in it, right? What are some of the standout like moments do you like, show wise, or just moments? It doesn't even have to be a show, but like I'm sure there's some career highs and some career lows. Like, what are some of the standouts, man?
I mean, it's hardcore, so there's always lows. That was one of those. Fuck, man, it's tough to say because we've been very fortunate to do some cool shit, and you know, whether you know the Madball Set It Off. Yeah. Anniversary tour. I mean, dude, Set It Off's one of my favorite fucking records.
Sure.
We did this tour. I don't know what year it was. It was called it 10 for 10. 10 bands for $10. Madball was actually on it. Madball, Poison the Well for a little bit. Bane, Terror. 10 bands, $10. It was like
was that States or
States? They were like 15-hour fucking drives.
Yeah.
And the first 7 bands rotated. So some days you could be playing first, or some, and you got paid nothing.
Yeah.
But it was fucking sick.
Yeah. Who put that on?
Tim Bora.
Okay.
Tim Bora and Paul. I'm gonna fuck up his last name. But they had this idea: 10 bands for $10, hardcore package. It was similar to. Not Ozfest because we weren't outside, but it was in venues, and it was like the summer. So
now, how did everyone take vans? Like how
we were all in vans.
Yeah,
And like I said, they were 10, 12-hour drives.
Jesus Christ.
And if you were like next day first, there were no hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Drive. And it was, so the first 7 bands got paid $150 a night.
Yeah.
Their drives cost way more.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. 15-hour drive.
But they were in like these bigger venues, and it actually did pretty fucking well. Like, dude, so you got to think about it. This is, I might fuck the year up, 08, 09. So the big bands are the big bands, right? So Madball, Poison the Well, Bane, Terror. The opening bands are DVD, Trapped Under Ice, War of Ages. Oh, dude. This Is Hell. Dude, a band that's massive now. I'm going to fuck it up. They got in a bad car. Anyways, a whole bunch of bands that rotated.
Sure, yeah. So there's 3 headliners and 7 rotating bands. That
Yeah, and it was fucking cool.
Who were the 3 headliners?
Poison Well, Madball, Terror, and Bane, like somehow like switched off.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure out this other band. That's like massive now. But anyways, it was a really cool tour, and like that stands out. Dude, anything I can, so a lot of the international stuff for me is like wild. Yeah. Like I grew up in Randolph. Suburb, not hillbilly suburb, right next to Brockton, you know, whatever. Yeah. I can't fucking sing. I scream. Yeah. And then now I'm in Central America, South America, Russia, fucking Europe, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah.
I did 2 months with Ignite in Europe, all over the Eastern Bloc. Like,
yeah.
I played Estonia. Who the fuck ever? I played Belarus, which is like, and on crazy story. That was the tour with Ignite. So we had 2 shows in Belarus, a city called Brest and a city called Minsk. The Brest show was literally shut down by the KGB. And I didn't ask if they were secret police, ex-Russia. This is white Russia.
Yeah.
We moved the venue within a park 3 times.
Did they say why they shut it down?
They followed us. Well, Soli's fucking crazy, and they're saying his lyrics something, but I don't know. All I know is this. We moved the show to 3 different places. Kids following the bus through a park. I was like half asleep. Couldn't happen. And then the bus driver couldn't drive more, right? There's rules and regulations to how much you can drive. So we sat out in front of a hotel. And this is Brest, Belarus, that had the most fallout from Chernobyl.
Yep.
I rented a room to have a shower. Smart move.
Yeah.
All I know is, so we rent a room for $20 in a 3-star hotel, 4-star hotel. We're on the bus. All I know is the bus is here all night. We're about to go out, and the police show up. And they tell us that if anybody with a shaved head, because some of us have shaved heads, gets arrested in the city tonight, they're coming back to the bus and arresting all of us. That's... I don't know where and the next night we played Minsk, which the show did happen, and it was fucking insane. But yeah.
But I'm sure like a lot of those countries don't get a ton of shows, so they probably super appreciate it. Probably kids that don't even know what the fuck is going on, they just go because there's something happening, right?
And that's one thing I love, and I feel like sometimes we've been fortunate enough to go to a lot of cool places. You don't make a lot of money going there. Yeah. But the places that don't get it truly appreciate it, right? So this goes back to like, when we were younger and it wasn't as accessible, right? You appreciate anything you can find. Yeah. And I feel like certain places that are not overwhelmed love it. And I love that shit. And people are like, dude, oh, you went here, you went here, you went here. Must be sick. I'm like, yeah, cool. Shows are sick. I love every bit of it. But you're not fucking like rolling in dollars because it's 9 times out of 10, it's a poor country.
Yeah. And on top of that, it's also, everyone thinks you're on vacation that whole time. It's like, no, you're sitting in a bus
or van
for 12 hours. You get into a venue doing a show.
Yep.
You're happy if you get a shower.
Yep. And
then you're getting back on the bus or the van and going to the next one.
Right.
You're not seeing a lot. You're seeing from the window.
100%. And if you're in the States, you're probably driving that.
Yeah.
So luckily in Europe, you might get a driver, bus, van. Yeah. But yeah, no, 100%.
How is South America and Central America?
Central America is fucking wild.
Those motherfuckers love that shit.
They do, but it's wild style. So
yeah.
We right after the pandemic, we did 3 shows in Mexico and did Central America to Bogota, which Bogota is kind of South America.
Yeah.
And I've done Bogota a bunch. But
what cities did you do in Mexico? Because Mexico's huge.
Mexico's amazing. We did Mexico City, Guadalajara, and Querétaro on this one. And we've done like 4 or 5 Mexico tours. This goes back to the original coffee shop thing. My boy Renee from Tijuana, he books a bunch of brands. He brings everybody from DVD to Madball to Terror. So we had done Central America in maybe 2008 with Renee in Mexico. And he's like, we're going to do Central America. I'm like, cool. But back then we play a show in Mexico. And then at the end of the show, have to get on like a Greyhound bus. It wasn't a Greyhound, but their equivalent.
Yeah.
And do overnight drives and then get there, get sleep in the hotel during the day. And then we did Central America afterwards.
Yeah.
So literally taking a passenger bus from the southern point of Mexico into Guatemala.
Yeah.
Where you see the river and people leaving their fucking past behind. Played El Salvador. The promoter from El Salvador got shot because the opening band wasn't allowed to play it because the time got too late. So they shot the promoter because everybody has a gun.
Yeah.
So this is real life.
Yeah.
We did that in like 08, 09.
But the show still went on. Did he get shot?
Well, we still played.
Before the show or after the show?
He got shot right before we played.
Okay. There
was like a balcony, and I was smoking a cigarette, hanging out with the band. And I was like watching a commotion, and, maybe I spent too much time in Brockton. I was like, someone's about to get shot.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, bam, 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 bam. Luckily, they only shot the dude in his foot. I mean, horrible shot. But, yeah, we still played.
Yeah.
The other promoter stayed when that guy went to the hospital.
No, the show still goes on. The
show still goes on. Awkward environment.
Yeah.
So that was like 08. And then, right after the pandemic, we did 3 shows in Mexico. We did Guatemala, El Salvador again. No one got shot. Phenomenal show. The fuck else do we do?
Do Honduras?
No, Honduras. The first tour when someone got shot, I was in the worst van. This is like no flights, but we were in a little bullshit van, like a little jumper seat. We had a 27-hour ride from El Salvador to Panama through Nicaragua and Honduras.
Yeah.
No shows there. 27 hours.
Jesus.
Dude. I don't.
You saw some shit from the side of the road though. Like,
dude, we got stopped one time, like 3:00 in the morning. Highway, but not highway, and I guess MS-13 had just shot a government cop,
official or something.
Yeah, federale, whatever. Yeah. So it's 3 a.m. They pull us over like a passport check. They see a bunch of white dudes. They're like, "What the fuck?" Okay. We had to strip to our underwear because they wanted to see all our tattoos.
Make sure that nothing had a 13.
Correct.
Good thing you didn't have like the fucking cat with a 13.
I know, right? Which I have a 7. I didn't go 13. And I look in the bush and there's a fucking sniper rifle right on me. Yeah. On us. I'm like, dude, look at this. Like they could kill us. And no one knows where the fuck. What?
Yeah.
And that was like Honduras.
Yeah.
That shit was wild. At least this past time that we just went here, it wasn't as well. The shows are phenomenal.
How far south have you been?
I've done South America, Central. Yeah, we did South America. Same 09, 010 with Cro-Mags.
Yeah.
That was sick. We did that time we did Bogota. Cro-Mags didn't do it, and then we did 2 shows in Argentina, Chile, and Brazil.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And I'm trying to get back there. So like those are the spots I like. But even Central America, like those shows are cool. This past one we did Ecuador for the first time. One of the fucking craziest shows I've ever played in my life.
Yeah.
I've never been to Ecuador. I'm like, amazing show, but like when you're down there, so we played till like 12:30. Our flight to Bogota is at 3 a.m. So we play the fucking show. We got to fucking run in the van.
Yeah.
It's fucking 45 minutes to the dude.
Yeah.
But sick.
What And then have you done like Australia and Japan and all that shit?
Did Australia twice. The first time we went there with Madball. Luckily, Madball took us there. Second time we went there, we headlined with a couple Australian bands. It's always great. Did Japan once as a headliner. It's been a long time, but
Yeah.
did Southeast Asia, did Indonesia, Bangkok, Singapore.
How do those go?
Great.
Dude, there is a whole craziness with like Singapore and I didn't know about
Thailand's fucking wild,
but
dude.
fucking in Indonesia we're like with punk and hardcore and choppers and shit. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Even with the motorcycle shit, we get that shit like a lot of dudes in Indonesia fucking rap, dude. It's fucking bananas, bro. Like it's. I think the internet, like for that reason, is
For
like
sure.
is fucking cool as fuck,
sure.
right? For that, there's a lot of reasons why the
'cause
internet sucks.
how else are they going to find out about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Indonesia, we played like you would think we were like fucking Van Halen. Like it was like an outdoor thing.
Yeah.
And granted, there was probably like 500 people there, but it could have held like 4,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super cool. Culture shock like a motherfucker.
Sure.
But we were like crazy at the time. So this is when we did the Australian headliner run. And then because you're over in Australia, it's easier
just a
to
hot
get
skip
to.
and jump right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did Singapore. Dude, the Thailand show was fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
Wild. Something about it, man. I just remember the first note and everybody was just like, dude, you almost felt like you're at home in a way.
Yeah. Well, everyone I know that's been out there, 'cause Thailand has a bad rep, like as a sketchy place.
For sure.
But everyone I know that's been out there said, like, no, motherfuckers just walking around smiling. Like, people are just fucking chill and cool out there for the most
That's always how it is, though, right? The people that have the bad reps, first of all, the shows, if you're in a hardcore punk, are always the best.
Yeah, because hard times breeds hard people that listen to
For
hard
sure.
fucking music, right? Like
For years. So when you would go to Mexico, if you drove down there, which a lot of times we did Mexico tours, we'd play California, drive over to TJ, and then like fly to Mexico City. But you would have to stop at the US side and like declare your equipment or else they try to tax you. And I remember a few times like they'd be like, you can't go to Mexico, there's a fucking war going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, the parts I'm going, there's always been a war.
Yeah.
Like you don't like, and I'm not being a fucking dick. No. I'm not hanging out in Tourist Central. I'm hanging out with probably the worst fucking people ever.
Yeah.
But
they're the best people too.
the best.
Yeah.
Like people, like, where did you go to shows growing up? Fucking when things were fucking horrible in New Bedford.
Yeah.
Whatever, the piece of shit, Brockton, this and that.
Yeah.
It's no different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes and no.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I mean, international is a little different, but you know what I mean. It's like that vibe.
What's the sketchiest situation? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's some parts of Eastern Europe that's had been a little fucking bananas.
Well, that whole fucking like weird, and I say KGB, and the only reason why I know that is I saw like plainclothes officers.
Yeah.
And I know Belarus still has the KGB.
Yeah.
And they were yelling at Zoli about his lyrics.
That's bananas.
They knew that. They knew what he
was saying.
Recorded.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
they did research.
They did research.
They came prepared. Yeah, they were.
That was sketchy. Dude, I don't know. Me and Frankie got arrested in Germany.
That you can talk about. Yeah.
I mean, I've been arrested in Germany. That was.
But like before the wall was taken down?
No. I didn't go there. That's what I mean. Like, I mean, I did get arrested like in a village where nobody spoke English.
Yeah.
On a violent thing.
Yeah. Things happen.
It was annoying, but I mean, that wasn't that fucking sketchy. I don't even know what sketchy is anymore.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, no, like on tour, like what's been the situation where you're like, obviously you were like in
the promoter that got shot. So the promoter gets shot, and then
you're like, is this band gonna have retribution on everybody else because they get to play? Like, fuck.
Which is funny because we were kicking it with them, a year ago.
Yeah.
The dudes that shot, they were both at the show that we just played in El Salvador last time.
And they're cool now?
They're cool now.
Yeah.
I'm like, but all right. But I will say,
so El Salvadorians are some forgiving motherfuckers.
Hard but forgiving.
Yeah.
I will say, when I was in El Salvador, the promoter gets shot. Everybody's all stressed out. We still got to play. We play, and then a couple people like, let's go to a bar. I'm like, oh, like a bar? He's like, oh, no, it's like a private bar. So it's like an after hours thing. Everybody else in the band, fuck, after today, we're going to bed. I'm like, not me.
Yeah.
So I went
You got to go on the adventure, man.
So that's what I did. So I went to a bar club, but it wasn't like a real, like it was underground.
Yeah.
I guess that was kind of sketchy because like if they rolled up there, like that's illegal as it is, and then I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I just
But
don't.
getting arrested in other countries where the English isn't a prime language, like,
Dude.
how do you get out of that shit? Fucking-
So we played this like village in Germany.
Yeah.
Show was amazing. We knew the promoter and the owner of the club. So I don't know. There's an after party. There's absinthe. There's whatever.
yeah.
This guy comes up to me and asks me to do a shot, and I was like, "Nah, dude, I'm kind of fucked up." And he goes, "You're a F word." Well, I guess we'll be nice, faggot, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, dude, whatever, cool. And then he whips his dick out. He goes, "You're a faggot, suck it." I'm like,
God damn, dude.
and dude,
That like went to like 100% disrespect so fast.
like
Yeah.
just like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and the show was so good. I know, and I'm like, get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
I go to the promoter. I'm like, yo, tell this motherfucker to leave. Like before, come on, man.
Come on,
like
man. Yeah.
It was a good night. Why we got to get like that? So he gets kicked out. He fucking comes back in. I'm like, dude, how the fuck is this?
He's persistent.
Dude.
Maybe he's really horny and he just was like hoping something would
respect.
happen. Yeah.
So I don't see, he comes one more time. I'm like, get the fuck away from me. And I see a white blob come, and it was Frankie, and he just fucking hit him, broke his face. And then literally dude's bleeding everywhere. I'm like, all right, whatever. See you later.
All right. This is over. Yeah.
It's over. And our hostel or Airbnb, not Airbnb, bed and breakfast type Euro shit, it's like 2 blocks away. We're in the fucking village. I'd say to the dude, I'm like, yo, should we break the fuck out? He's like, nah, you're good.
Yeah.
20 minutes later, he's like, the fucking cops are here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Me and Frankie sneak out the back. It's all fucking grass. Next thing
And you
know,
and Frankie ain't gonna. You're not like the most like. Yeah.
especially him, fucking.
Pretty identifiable dudes.
So,
Yeah.
can I steal this last one?
Oh yeah, that was for you. After that, we're going to the Tequila Ocho.
Oh, Jesus. So, we're in the fucking woods in the back. We try to run down the street. There's a drunk fucking German passed down the road. I yell like a fucking 12-year-old. Cops surround us. Whatever. We get arrested. And then I'm like, yo, I'm telling the promoter, I'm like, yo, get our tour manager. I need an interpreter. Like, no one speaks fucking English.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not like in a city. You're in a.
No, dude, we're in no man's land. So we go to the fucking police station, and I'm in the other room. I can hear Frankie. And in Europe, they're very concerned about like hooligan stuff, so they want to know your tattoos and want to take pictures of it. Frankie's fucking etch-a-sketch.
It's like Boston in the 2000s. Yeah. It's fucking,
After post-Boston beatdown.
Yeah. Let's see those tattoos. Take pictures. Yeah.
So
at the show. Yeah. Fucking. Just
Frankie is etch-a-sketch.
Yeah.
So I hear him in the other room, and they're like, we got to take pictures. He's like, I want my fucking interpreter. And they're like, and a little bit of English is basically like, yeah, Monday. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I want to get the fuck out. I don't care what this costs. So it was sketchy getting arrested there, but like I had my cell phone on me the whole time. Like this is 08. Like I have a cell phone. I'm like texting my wife. She wasn't the wife at the time, but I was like, I'm arrested. And I'm like handcuffed to like a high school like chair desk thing.
Yeah.
But I can just fucking text.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that was sketchy. It cost us a lot of money.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like 3,000 euros.
Wow.
To punch someone in the face that like, I don't know, sexually assaulted me.
Yeah. They weren't concerned about that, yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of weird. I don't know. There's always weird shit, right? It's tour. I mean, I'm trying to I'm sure there's fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm just, stand out either like awesome shit or like fucking like horrible shit, you know what I mean? People find this shit interesting, man. You know? I do
for
too.
sure.
Yeah, I do too.
Sometimes I do too. I go back in my history. I'm like, that's kind of fucking cool.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. We got, speaking of tours, we got one coming up literally a week from today.
Yep.
Right? Oh no, a week from today I leave. You leave.
I leave the day before. The tour starts in a week and a day from today.
A week and a day. We're recording this on Thursday.
Yep.
A week from now, I'm
leave.
flying out the day before you're leaving, and then the day
arrive
after.
a week.
Next Friday, the show
All
starts.
confusing. Yes, next Friday.
17 shows in a row, 18 dudes on a bus.
It'll be good.
It's a double-decker tour bus, so there's a little bit of space.
There is, for sure. And it's a great tour. Great bands.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Like, probably all these are just repeats for you, right? Like, are there any cities on this that are new for you guys?
No. But it's cool that there's other stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of times you go to Europe, it's like Germany, and I love Germany.
Yeah. But a lot of touring is centered around Germany.
Of course. And this one, I mean, it has Germany, but it has a lot of fucking cool spots. So nothing new, but I'm looking forward to. After this tour, when we fly to the Balkans, no new countries, but new cities for us, for sure.
Yeah. And that's what, 10 days?
10 shows. Yeah. So I'll be in Europe all of February. It's the first time I've been on tour for a full month and fucking, I don't know how long.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like the nature of touring has changed. Like you said years ago, you go 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Now it's like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
And then 10 days.
Yeah, so this tour came up, obviously, Slapshot.
Are you coming home and then going back out?
No,
you guys
we're going right. So the Slapshot, Death Before Dishonor, Risk, American War Machine starts the first show.
Yeah.
The last show is the 18th.
Yeah.
The 19th, we fly from Dusseldorf to Athens. And then we do 9 more shows. Then I fly back to Germany.
What countries are you hitting on that?
We do 2 shows in Greece, 1 show in Macedonia, 1 show in Serbia, and 2 shows in Bulgaria.
How's Serbia nowadays?
Dude, it's fucking wild. Yeah. Dude, I've been to Serbia a few times. We actually played, the small shows are fucking phenomenal. Every time we go there, it's amazing. There's a fest called Exit Fest. It's like a big festival. Played there with Madball before. It's in an old castle in Novi Sad. It's fucking awesome.
That's the cool thing about going to Europe for us, because the history is so much longer than ours.
For
and
sure.
a lot of the venues are like in like crazy. Like when we did, like all I remember was when we did that Brute Assault with the Blood
in Czech Republic.
Czech Republic, like that venue is fucking bananas.
I've never been there. We're actually playing that in August coming up for the first time. We're supposed to play it like a few years ago, and something fucking happened.
All I remember is like you can go in to the venue, but the villagers block off the streets around it, and they don't let anybody into the streets.
That's wild.
Because the villagers are like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
You guys can go to the show, but you can't come into the.
That's amazing.
Can't come into the town.
Yeah, Europe's cool like that, man, and there's a lot of cool festivals and stuff like that.
I think there's only one fest on our tour, right? The Scumbash there.
Yeah, the second day,
night.
and that's Exploited.
Yeah, we're playing with the Exploited. Fuck yeah.
He just had a fucking I don't want to be rude, but 17th heart attack, and I fucking love Exploited.
Yeah,
and I'm like, there's no way they're playing, and they just
they
just posted that they're fucking playing, and I fucking love Exploited.
Yeah, that dude's hard to kill, man.
Dude.
Waddy's hard to kill.
It was funny. So one of my boys was like, dude, and I was like, if anybody is going to be there, it's going to be Waddy.
Yeah.
Not that I know him for shit. I just love Exploited.
Yeah.
So
that was my second show ever.
Exploited?
Yeah, Exploited.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Exploited. I'm psyched on that. Yeah. I'm sure that's like an indoor fest because of the time of the year, but that's still going to be sick. There's a lot of great bands.
That's I think what they're saying, that's like a 6,000 person.
Is it? Cool. I know, between all of us, Exploited, I don't really know Peter Pan, Speed Rockers. What is it called? Toy Dolls. I said Peter Pan, Speed Rockers.
Toy Dolls is a lot different.
For sure. I'm an asshole. But Hoods will be there.
Yeah.
Brick by Brick.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck else.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Cool.
It's a European show. There's a bunch of people on it. Fucking so. Have you done one on a double decker?
Yes. So I've done.
How does that work out, man? This is now. I don't care about. No disrespect. I don't care about the listen. I'm asking for personal interest here.
So the first tour I ever did with AF was a double decker.
Okay.
I've lucked out and done a few of those. So I'm a fucking weirdo. I think the double deckers are cool because like you could technically like play a show, you wake up, you're at the venue, you go in and eat, blah, blah, blah. You know, it happens every day. I would rather my own hotel room to shower sometimes instead of like being the 13th dude to shower in cold water because I'm just a fucking baby. Other than that, though, it is cool. I feel like it builds a lot of bonds, right? Because you have to be together.
There's 18. You're only feet apart at any given moment, you know?
To play a show every day. Yeah. So I feel like it definitely like, it's cool, man. You figure people out. I like it. It takes a little patience sometimes, right? When you're in a fucking bad mood and someone's fucking being loud and annoying, and you're like,
dude,
Luckily, I don't think the drives are super long. So like half of the time, like if you pass out, you wake up, the bus is already at the venue. So like, whatever.
So the funny thing is we got a good age range on this too. Like, right? We got how old are the dudes in Risk? Like
I mean, I always say they're young, but I'm also old. So
like
they're not like 20. I mean,
they're like 25, 30.
Yeah, in that age range.
Yeah. And then all the way up to Jack Kelly, who's been fucking in band since like fucking 81 or whatever. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's definitely a good age range, but I think I also like that about it, right? One thing that's cool about this tour, and I try to like put together a Boston tour as well as everybody else in fucking the history. But every Boston band comes and goes and never wants to fucking do everything. I do like the Slapshots, like OG, DVDs, you know, middle era, American War Machine. Not new, like new, but dudes that have been around.
It's dudes that have been around, but it's a new band.
But it's a new band. Yeah. And then like Risk is out there playing
every day. Like,
they might ask, they're fucking acting like DVD in like 2007.
Yeah. And it's cool, man, because I'm actually a little jealous of it because they're at the age where you can still kind of do that.
For sure.
And that's fucking rad.
For sure.
I'm like, I'm 51. I own 3 fucking businesses.
Right,
I can't go for 8 weeks. You know,
you're gonna be home for 6 months working fucking 60 hours a week after this because you're gone for 16 days.
Exactly. Yeah, and before it, right? You know, and it's fucking rad, man. But I wanna. I like it's cool to vicariously live through like the younger dudes that are seeing things. And
the other thing I like too is like the sound, like the sound, but like everybody has their own sound.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Right? And it like transcends through the generations. Like there's nothing that you can't get into.
Yeah.
I always say this about Agnostic Front. There's a record you fucking have to love.
You don't like Victim in Pain? Listen to One Voice. Right. Listen to fucking Dead Yuppies or whatever.
Whatever.
You know, there's going to be one AF record you like. Yeah.
In this tour, I kind of feel like it's the same thing. Like there's different generations and genres, but like it's all hardcore. It's all energetic. It's going to be fucking sick. I mean,
yeah.
Hope the shows are sick.
I've never been to like being on previous tours.
Yep.
I've been pretty much all those places for the most part, but I'd never been to Budapest.
Dude, shows are wild.
I can imagine.
Budapest
seems like a fairly lawless place to me. I don't know why.
It is because you're getting close to the east.
Yeah.
But it absolutely is. Actually, the last time I played Budapest, it was Terror. No problems. Everything was fine. The time before that, we headlined. And the promoter is like, there's a bunch of Nazis here. You have to go out there and fight them. And I'm like,
see, I've heard this before from like Packers talked about this. And it's like, how's that our problem? This is your scene. You guys handle it.
And that's why. So I have no problem being like, fuck Nazis on stage.
Yeah.
But I go out there and get arrested for
fighting.
And that's cool.
As an American.
Whether I win or lose, they're still going to come back next week and fuck your show up. So
you guys got to handle it.
I will take a quote unquote stance with you, but that's your problem. But and it's not a cop out because we've all done it for years. Yeah. This goes back to so we played Kiev, Ukraine.
Yeah. Which is not on this.
No.
Ukraine and Russia.
Think you can get that. So we played Kiev and sold out show, not massive, like 300 people. And the promoter comes to me and he's like, there's a hooligan club outside that's here to see Death Before Dishonor, but they're all Nazis. And we won't let them in. And I said, respect. Awesome. Fuck them. And he said, but the Hooligan Club said, anybody that leaves this show, we're going to fuck them up one at a one. I'm like, all right. So let's play the show, and then we all walk out together. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still got to walk out.
Fight out everyone walking out at the same time.
I'm looking outside. I'm like, they're small motherfuckers. I'm like, this is going to suck. I don't know how their timing worked out. Nazis are dumb. No disrespect. We play the show, and then they're all gone. Well, their fucking soccer team had a match, not locally, but that they had to go watch during Death Before Dishonor. So we walked out, they're all gone.
Hey, perfect timing. Yeah, it worked out for everybody.
But that's one of those things where I'm like, all right, respect to the promoter being like, fuck them, they can't come in. And they're like, we're going to fuck it. And me and Frankie looked at each other. I'm like, dude, this is going to suck.
It's always a weird thing, man. Like, and this is not going to sound like a popular thing here, right?
It happens.
Right. And this is, I'm talking about, if someone has their beliefs, but they're not going into a place and being an asshole, what do you do?
I could give a fuck less.
What do you do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't control, like, you know what? I don't agree with what they agree with.
Right.
I also don't agree with what every motherfucker agrees with. You know what I mean? So it's like, what?
If you go into your backyard and burn crosses, and I don't know, I could give a fuck less.
You come to my show and do that, it's a different story. Like
100%. But then it even gets weird when you're in like the Ukraine. If I get in a fight there,
yeah.
Like if you get in a fight, you're good. If I get in a fight, it's a whole to do.
Yeah.
But if my
it's an international incident, you know,
for real.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if I am my safety is in jeopardy by somebody that wants to assault me, fuck them.
Yeah, we're going all the way.
It is what it is.
It's going. Yeah, it ain't gonna not happen. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so Budapest could get fucking weird. But aside from a handful of idiots, Budapest shows are fucking amazing. It's going to be wild.
I heard it's a fucking rad city, you know?
Budapest, Poland, Prague, like all that shit's going to be sick.
Yeah. All right, I got to pause one more second. Shit, all right, we're back.
We're back.
All right, let me put these headphones on. We just had a shot of Tequila Ocho to I have no monetary...
Calm our nerves.
Yeah, I got no interest in that company, but it's good stuff. Yeah, man, so tickets are available for this tour. It's coming up. Like, I know I got some European listeners, so we're going to be rolling through your town. We're going to be doing some live podcasts, too. Well, not live, but we're going to be doing some on the road podcasts. You never know. It could be
actually live.
I got to figure out how to do that, but I got that Zoom pod track, so I can do...
That'd be sick.
Do on the road shit. We'll do some
tour updates.
I mean, dude, 17 shows.
There's plenty of time.
A lot of time on the bus.
A lot of fucking time.
We'll do them periodically. We'll do a couple of tour updates, right? Like,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. And we'll get everyone. We'll get people from every band in, so we can.
That'd be dope.
Talk about different perspectives and whatnot.
For sure.
But what else, man? What's going on? I know we're both. This is a Thursday night. We're both working and stuff.
Yeah.
What else is going on, man? That we haven't hit on. That's important.
I don't fucking know. We got tour coming up.
Yeah, I'm so focused on that and getting shit done.
Dude, me too.
Before that,
I have literally less than a week.
Yeah. Yeah, you're leaving like literally a week from today. No,
a day before a week.
Yeah. A week.
6 days.
Yeah, 6 days from now. Yeah.
In English, 6 days.
Yeah.
Fuck. I always do this too. So because of my job,
you're going to be the most well-rested motherfucker.
But then my fucking lack of sleep, who knows?
Can you sleep on the bus?
Yeah, I sleep on the bus, not bad. I can't sleep on a plane.
I'm the same way. I can't sleep on a plane.
So that's why I get there a day early. But the downfall of this is us and Risk are on the same flight the day early.
Oh, they're all coming out a day early
too? They're coming too. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, let's all go.
Yeah. It just worked out.
It just worked out. And then we're like, oh, we're all on the same fucking flight. We're all in the same hotel. I'm like, oh, dude, we'll be up to fucking 5. And we could be up to 5 in the morning just because can't fucking sleep.
Yeah, it's a time difference, fucking all that.
But yeah, so we gotta, I'm gonna get out there a day early and just try to get acclimated to this shit. I always do that, even though I've been in Europe a million times. I just like to fucking feel good. I don't fucking know.
I think this is something of interest to people. You're in a touring band, and we're not going to talk. We're going to take the COVID years out of the equation because it doesn't count. Time doesn't count. How do you balance, like, we're not 18, right? 18, right. World's fucking your oyster. You can go on tour whenever. 100%. It doesn't really matter. You probably have a bullshit job that you can just leave and get something else. Like, How does someone that's still like you're touring, but you're not touring 300 days a year when
No.
you could live on it,
Right.
Just that. How do you balance like you know, like what do you do outside of that to and like, you know, how do you balance like being on tour and
that's a good question, 'cause
balance in regular life, right?
You're right, because
you're married, you're
so I'm married, I don't have kids, so
the kids part makes things a hell of a lot
very hard.
easier.
Not wrong.
Well, no, not having kids makes things a hell of a lot easier. I mean,
100%. I don't have kids. My wife is obviously like very cool and into hardcore, and she knew what she was getting into.
yeah, it wasn't. You were already in the band, like,
For sure.
Yeah, it wasn't like.
But yeah, you have to work a job that like lets you do what you do.
Yeah.
And with that is while you're home, you work like a fucking asshole and fucking show up to a podcast fucking 10 minutes late. Yeah, so it's just a matter of, and that's why we went through lineup changes, and I'm sure every other fucking band, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you're gonna buy a house and have children, much respect, but like you're
not going to tour 250 days a year.
You can do weekends here and there, maybe 10 days, blah, blah. And we don't do 250 like we used to. But since Unfinished Business came out, I mean, we've been, well, aside from the pandemic, we're trying to make some shit happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to tour like crazy. And then lineup changes, blah, blah, blah. And there was 10 years before we put out a record. And then 2009, we put out Unfinished Business. And I love that record. And we were like geared up, ready to go. And then the pandemic hit us. And we've been, since the pandemic, trying to make as many moves as
19,
possible.
you mean, right? Not 09.
Yeah, 19. Yeah, 09. Fucking losing my fucking mind.
I was like,
09. Well, 09 was the last record.
Yeah.
So there was 10 years.
oh, between
the
09
record.
19 was. Yeah.
So 2009, Better Ways Tide came out. And in 2019, Unfinished Business. And in between there was touring and then lineup changes and then kind of touring.
I know, you know, like I said, let's take COVID out of the equation, but having not done a record in 10 years, when that record hit, how did it, like, was there 10 years of buildup? Like, or did you find like, and this is like, I'm only probing because it's a real question. Like,
For
or
sure.
did you find like some people drifted away or were there new people? Like, how did that
I think
work?
there's a combination of both. So like band perspective, like that 10 years, like, so, you know, you put out a record, we're touring, lineup changes, still touring. And then like personal shit happened. Even for somebody that like doesn't have quote unquote a family, I had a lot of shit going on. And I was like, and I was fucking burnt the fuck out, man. I did every fucking tour. And I was like, fuck this. But we never stopped, but I wasn't like, can't wait for the next record. And this happened. And a lot of personal shit. And then finally, like that personal shit worked itself out. And then new record happened. I think within that time, like our real fans, this sounds fucking corny, but no. They stuck with us. And I think like 10 years in hardcore is like a fucking lifetime.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. There's been 3 changing of the guards in that time. Like there's been 3 waves of kids in and out of it.
100%. We never stopped playing, but we didn't actively play, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So
You weren't saying yes to everything.
everything, right. And maybe we weren't even getting offers to everything because we were by the wayside by not doing a record or whatever the fuck happens. And there's plenty of young bands. I think there was like some gaps, generational gaps. And I think there was some like super strong support. But like when we put out the new record, we were just like, fuck it. We're going to do what we do.
Yeah.
And we were all in a good place to be able to do that. And we did. And then the fucking pandemic. But then coming out of the pandemic, we were like taking any opportunity we could. Like, I guarantee we were the first band to go to Mexico and Central America.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this in like, we were the first one. No. As soon as they gave us a green fucking light, I was
You were ready to roll.
I was like, let's do this. And we fucking did it. And we tour after tour after tour. We're not going to do 250 days a year, but we're going to make fucking moves. And with that, once again, couple lineup changes, but our original second guitar player is back in the band. And we basically have a new record written. And that's crazy for us. Like, even with that 10-year gap, we were writing stuff with Colin and all this stuff. But we're in a really good place that I think we're going to do a bunch of shit this year, come the fall. We're going to do a new record or EP. I don't know, but we're going to do something.
So you have like a record's worth of shit.
Oh, 100%.
You're going to record and then decide.
100%. Yep.
Cool. So that'll be out, what, 24?
Yeah, next year for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll record at the end of the year after. So we do Europe. We're going to do like a 10-day run. I don't want to fucking jinx myself, but this band Hold My Own, great fucking up-and-coming band, Exit Strategy, in like April, as well as other stuff.
That 10-day, where's that?
Down to Florida and back.
Okay.
But like when I say down to Florida and back, like we're going to start in like Baltimore, like it's a southern run. My drummer gets married in like June, so May, June gets weird. Then we do some festivals in Europe in July, August.
Yeah, that's the big festival.
Yeah, I finally get to play Brutal Assault that you've been talking about. A couple other ones, Alcatraz.
Brutal Assault's awesome because it's all like, it's like everything. There's
everything.
A lot of death metal, black
it's
metal.
Fucking hard. And it's in the Czech Republic. That's wild stuff.
I think when with Blood for Blood played, it was like Mayhem, like was one of the big bands and all that shit. Like, and those dudes are like, fucking OGs in that black metal shit.
For sure.
I mean?
So we do that, and then we'll do some shit, record in the fall.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Cool. Well, fuck yeah, dude. Like, where can people go to find out more information about Death Before Dishonor? Like, what's the, shout out your Instagram, the social. The
mine personally is Bryan DBD, BRYN DBD. The band's Instagram is Death Before Dishonor BHC, I think. If I fucked that up,
I'll put it in. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll put it in the show notes so you don't have to.
I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yeah. We're on Facebook, all that shit. But yeah.
Well, yeah, fuck yeah, man. Well, this is fucking good. I know you got to fucking get back to it. We both got to get back to it. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, it's only 10:30.
That's not bad.
That's not that.
Could be worse.
Well, fuck yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna see you next week. We're gonna be.
You're gonna see me next week. You have no choice.
Belgium, right?
Ghent, Belgium is the first show.
Yeah.
But seriously, I think this tour is cool. If you're listening and you're international, come out to one of them.
Yeah, and we have it posted all over the place on all our social medias, all the events. I see all these people like come to Munich, this and that, and I'm like, fuck you, dude. Come to like we're in Europe.
Go the other way.
Come to the other town. You know what I mean? Like take a train ride. I know trains go every fucking where in Europe, dude. Fuck you. Like
for like $10.
Yeah. You can get to the show. Come out. Get a hotel. Like you know what I mean? Like fucking
stay on a bus
or just take a train home. I don't know how the trains.
I don't know either, but I'm with
pretty
you.
good. Yeah. Come on the bus. We got extra bunks. I'm just kidding. I'm stoked to do Netherlands because Johannes.
Yeah.
Johannes is coming out because we're doing the town he's from.
Well, this is funny.
The Frisian Prince, dude. We're gonna.
Is he gonna be there?
Oh, he's coming. Yeah, he's
So
coming. He's gonna do Rotterdam and the show after.
Makes sense. Yeah. Which is the middle of nowhere, but there's good pre-sales.
Yeah.
We played Sound of Revolution. Our booking agent.
Yeah.
Their festival.
Shout out to Stronger Booking.
Stronger. Shout out. Johannes was there last time we played it.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. I can't wait. The bus is going to be so. There's going to be so many highs and lows. Going to be complete idiocy.
Or it's going to be the lamest shit ever. Right?
No, there's no way. There's no way. Right? Like literally, like with you, with me, and Packer.
I'm an elder. I don't.
Yeah, so am I. I'm older than you, dude. Yeah.
So
I'm an elder as you grab a fireball.
So there was one tour, me and Scott Vogel, shout out to Scott Vogel, I can't even say it.
It's crazy he's back in Buffalo fucking
dude
doing so many
we've done plenty of European tours. They've looked out for us many times. We definitely did one tour. We were so fucked up we destroyed in the bus. If you break anything, you have to pay for it.
Of course, yeah.
But when you're very drunk,
you don't know, yeah.
So we destroyed the TV, all this shit. And then I woke up in the morning and was like,
what happened?
And then just had a bill.
Yeah.
Shout out to Scott Vogel.
Yeah.
Shot Vogel.
Shot Vogel. Yeah, dude, it's going to be fun, man. Like, as you know, it's like anything. It's going to be awesome and boring, fucking stressful and awesome.
The good thing is, I feel like, first of all, a bunch of great bands. Second of all, like, whether everybody's close or not, like we're from the same world in the sense, like, you know what I mean? Geographically.
Yeah.
Maybe not age wise. And the team, I don't know the merch guy. Ryan says he's cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to merch guy.
Yeah.
Tour manager Alex from Last Hope is sick.
And you need a European merch guy because
For sure.
Because we can't. I can speak Spanish a little bit, especially when I'm hammered, but I can't speak German or Polish or
For
Dutch or fucking French or Swiss. And I know Swiss is half German, half French, half a mountain language.
Yeah, a little bit of all that.
But I think we're doing Lucerne, which is the German part.
It is.
Lucerne,
Yeah. I've been there a couple times. This should be cool.
I lived in Switzerland for a while. I lived in
You
Geneva.
told me that. Yeah, I remember that.
Geneva.
You were like fucking a doctor or some shit.
No, I wasn't a doctor, but
Same shit.
But I would tour while I was out there too. And
Okay.
I love fucking Switzerland's fucking
Switzerland,
great.
beautiful.
Switzerland's great.
I'm a Zurich guy. I'm not going to lie.
I like Zurich. Have you ever been to or through? You've probably been through Zug. Z-U-G. It's
Okay.
in the Alps. It's
Okay.
It's on the base
The
of
Alps
the
are
Alps.
beautiful.
Fucking beautiful, dude. If I was independently wealthy or rich, I would have a side house in Zug, Switzerland.
Yo, how crazy is it? Like Switzerland is like their own shit and don't need to fuck with it. Like Burger King in Switzerland is like $22 for a meal.
Yeah.
And they're just like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So the best thing is I lived there in 98 or something like that. Yeah, it was like 98, right? And no, 97. Yeah, 97, 98.
Okay.
And I'm not getting political here, but people like to talk about our immigration policies.
Yeah.
If you wanted to emigrate to Switzerland,
Yeah.
at that point, I think you had to have 150 or 200,000 in the bank.
In the bank.
Liquid.
Right.
You had to have a professional degree and you had to have a professional job to be considered. And there was no marrying in. Like, you
Right,
couldn't
right.
marry
You
a
couldn't
Swiss
just
girl
get it.
and get in. You know, they were like, no, fuck you. Like, we know that. So, like, I love it when people, like, try and, like, talk about immigration. I'm like, this country's way worse than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
whatever.
I've seen it seven ways.
yeah.
I don't know every detail, but I'm
Try
like,
and be Guatemalan and go over the Mexican border, dude. Like, talk about that, right?
I see them roll.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. Fucking, but whatever, you know. And like I said, I'm not being political there, but
But I know what you mean.
Because Switzerland's so fucking beautiful. I say, I'd love to fucking live
so
here.
beautiful.
And they're like, nah, fuck you, dude. Like,
It's
you,
not
you got a
fucking
couple hundred
cheap
grand
either.
in the bank? Yeah, no.
You got to lay over in Switzerland. Burger King is literally like a Whopper meal is $23.
Yeah, but you could go to the train station and eat off the fucking floor. It's the cleanest
Beautiful.
fucking place
Beautiful.
in the world. Yeah.
And that river that runs through Zurich, I don't know, but
Yeah.
there's a venue there. Yeah.
And even in Geneva, right? It's like the water's like crystal blue.
Oh, beautiful.
It's fucking in the city. It's still like crystal blue. Like I'm like, you could go drink that water.
The river in Zurich. I mean,
Same thing.
Zurich, right? It's like, it's a river, but it's like, dude, everybody's jumping in it. It's fucking amazing. Yeah, for sure.
Now, I got Switzerland's a beautiful country. Like
For sure.
I don't think I'd want to live there now, but like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. So motherfuckers, wherever you're listening, if you're in Europe, come out. There's a show somewhere near you.
For sure.
Come out, hang out. We'll be at the merch booth, different points. of the night.
Exclusive Chopperhead merch
No,
available.
no. And for the record, all the bands that are playing are taking a hit to do this shit.
For sure.
So come out and support and buy band merch. Yeah.
He's not wrong. Even though we're lucky to be on a bus.
Yeah.
It's not like, yo, we're on a bus.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
And yeah, we're not popping fucking champagne fucking partying. Like it's like,
we're working extra hours to pay for the extra luggage to get
Yeah.
the fuck there. But
And-
all that said, come hang out.
and literally like, you know, post COVID, everything's quadrupled, you know, in price to tour.
For sure.
So it's like, no one's doing this because they're getting money. Everyone's doing this because they fucking love it.
And it's going to be a good time.
And
It
it's
will
going to be a good time, and we want to see you motherfuckers. So come out. I know I got listeners all over in every one of these fucking countries. I see the reports. So, and I think because Johannes has been on this, I especially expect you Frisian motherfuckers to be out for that show. You know what I mean? Come out to that
Johannes.
in the Netherlands.
Johannes, you owe me a back tattoo. By you owe me, I've been begging you to do it, and I'm just too much of a wuss to go there.
Well, maybe we can get him on the bus from Rotterdam.
Start an outline and just ruin my life.
From Rotterdam to the next show,
Dude, he can go where he wants.
and then
I love that dude.
And then he can tattoo you on the bus.
I love Johannes.
Black Stallion Tattoos. Johannes will be
Shout out.
tattooing on the tour bus. So if you catch us between Rotterdam, just making that announcement right now. Like, you know, maybe you get
Tattoos
on the
are happening.
Yeah, you get on the bus. You pay a modest fee to take the ride. And
Packer's cutting hair. So, you know, if you need a haircut, which I was actually going to text him today because I was like,
are you going to bring clippers? Because they're like,
I do have like whack, but not whack clippers.
yeah.
But I don't know. Packer's got to figure it out.
So I got decent clippers, but
you need a step down converter.
yeah, I'm not doing fades. I'll shave your head, but I'm not doing
can't
fades.
do that. I finally grew my hair out at fucking 44. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about. And this is just me showing my age and being a little embarrassed. I have to do bald fades because like the grays come in on the side.
Same. You got to keep it tight.
You got to keep it tight.
So I got a bald fade a week ago, but now it's growing in, so I'm gonna look fucking weird.
Yeah,
I don't mind like the gray shit, but it's fuzzy looking.
Yeah, it's weird looking. Right?
Yeah.
So
if you're in Europe, Packer will give you a bald fade.
yeah, Packer will do haircuts for you for a modest fee on the tour bus.
Just buy American War Machine T-shirt, and there's no problem.
And buy a Slapshot, buy a Slapshot and a War Machine, and you get a free haircut on the bus.
No problem.
We're just volunteering him for that right now. So
No problem.
We're not going to tell him we said that. We're going to see if he fucking listens to this.
Otherwise, we'll be in Europe and be like, why is there fucking 14 people trying to get a haircut? I'm like, you should have listened to the podcast.
Should have listened to the podcast. Should have been here, dude. But fuck yeah, man. It's been a good time. Let's fucking let's wrap this up. And the next time you hear from us, we're going to be on the tour bus, and it'll be members of every band talking because I got 4 mics, and we're going to be ready to fucking roll.
See you on the road.
All right.